Alright. Hello, my nerds and space pirates. It's Galactic Bounty Hunter Kitty. And once more, in celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Metroid series and the release of Metroid Dread, which is coming out tomorrow. Yes, and I will be streaming it. You'd have to throw me under a bus or something to stop me. Anyway, we are here with part 2 of Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS. Luckily today I am feeling a lot better than I was on Monday, so hope you all wanted to listen to me ramble about game dev, because that is definitely a thing that's going to happen. Okay, so to recap, this is a remake of Metroid 2 Return of Samus on the Game Boy. Let's see. Nope, I want to go down first. Hate these things. This is a new enemy. They're called Autodes. And basically the only thing they do is put out some sort of EMP wave, which will disable our Aeon abilities for a couple of minutes. Yeah, this is a remake of Metroid 2, wherein the Federation has tasked Bounty Hunter Samus Aran with traveling to the planet SR-388 and destroying every single Metroid she can find, lest the space pirates and other nefarious beings use them as biological weapons. At this point, we are about halfway through the game. There are 8 areas. We are on Area 4. This area is pretty interesting for 2 reasons. One... Come on, come at her. Stop bugging me. Okay. Come out here so I can freeze you. Okay, there we go. Soul up here. Alright, I gotta hop up, shoot the block, and then I can get in there. So yeah, this area is interesting for 2 reasons. One, there's actually 2 of those Chozo seals that we need to require us to destroy Metroids in order to drain the lava and get past them. So basically, we can only access half of the area at this point. And fun thing too, we are going to get chased at one point. There will be a thrilling escape sequence, so please look forward to it. Here's the Spazer Beam. The high output Spazer Beam fires 3 beams at once. Once more, I'm pretty sure that Spazer is supposed to stand for Spread Laser, and basically it just triples our attack power. In the short term, like, you've noticed these weird little 3-ad door things. Well, Spazer very quickly takes care of them. I am quite pleased we have this upgrade. The Spazer represents a pretty decent turning point in this game because finally our beam has stopped being basically useless. Like, shooting critters is going to become an option again instead of having to melee counter basically every single thing we see. Yeah, if you were all here on Monday, I very much dislike the melee counter because it makes the gameplay kind of very reactive. You're having to start and stop all the time. Turn my volume down. Here's an Aeon tank. It's going to increase our Aeon gauge, which will let us use our abilities like the lightning armor and the scan pulse, which we need to navigate. Incidentally, I messed around with the emulator and found a very nice little control change I could do. Basically, I'll let you map a button to an area on the touchscreen. So in order to yeah, can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. Instead of having to constantly tap the touchscreen to change weapons, which in this case involves having to reach over and use the mouse, basically I just mapped it so the other two shoulder buttons on my DualShock 4 map to the regular beam and the ice beam. So I can toggle quickly back and forth now. It's very, very helpful. Let's take care of this Metroid and then I can start rambling. Alright, so once more, this is a Gamma Metroid, the third stage in the Metroid life cycle. They're the second mutation that we've encountered. Gammas aren't too bad, mostly we just have to avoid their energy attacks. These guys still do the annoying thing where they run away. Oh, missiles. Okay, based on how the tracker's reacting, I think he's in the room. So let's go check there first. Geodes. Actually, really like the background in this area. Okay. Come out, big guy. Oh, if you must. Come on, get out of the way. Fortunately, I have no idea why I seem to be constantly missing the counter timer timing on that Freaking Metroid. Okay, looks like he's not up here. He must be in this little room over to the left. There we go. Alright, so with that done, we are able to go drain the lava from the other half of the area and make some more progress. The other half of the area is a lot more interesting since that's where that thrilling chase sequence I promised you is going to happen, and we're also going to get 2 major upgrades over there. So anyway, let's ramble about the game, because I did not really do that last time because I was trying to make sure my voice didn't go out midstream. Right, so Samus Returns was released on September 15th, 2007. It was only one release date because it was actually released in every single territory on the same day, which is a first for the series. Anyway, this came out in 2017. You'll recall that Metroid Zero Mission, the last game we played, came out in 2004. Which, yeah, that's the 13-year gap. What the heck happened there? Well, Samus Zero Mission was the last 2D Metroid game that had come out in the interim, but it was not the last Metroid game, period. Between the two, the Metroid Prime series was doing great. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes came out in 2005 on the GameCube, and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption came out in 2007 on the Wii. Corruption was not quite a Wii launch title. The actual system came out in 2007, but it was pretty close. It had a bunch of fun little Wiimote mechanics where you had to twist dials and whatnot, and kind of interesting because Nintendo actually marketed that one really hard. I think they were hoping that somehow it'd be like a gateway game like Wii Sports was, and somehow get the general public into action games. That did not actually work, but it had a whole bunch of commercials. If you're familiar with the Wii, it was like mimicking like a cable TV interface, so it had different channels. There was actually a whole channel that came out for Metroid Prime 3 where it had trailers and whatnot. So anyway, we had the 2 Prime games in 2005 and 2007, both of which were well received. And the next Metroid game that came out was Other M in 2010. Let's see. No, that's the elevator up. I need to keep heading right. For being a big open room, there's a lot of little twisty passages in this area. Okay. Double back because I very much want that energy tank. Okay, so Other M was announced for the Wii at E3 2009 to pretty substantial fanfare. Like, basically, the Wii came out, it was a huge success, and then there was a couple years where, according to, like, the hardcore fan base, Nintendo just, like, had no idea what they were doing. Like, E3 2008 was when they announced Wii Music and that weird little, vitality sensor, like a pulse meter that, like, never came out. So E3 2009 was hailed as like Nintendo's return to games. They announced Other M. That's also when they announced, I think. No, they didn't do Donkey Kong Country Returns. That was the next year, but they also did New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So anyway, Other M had a very slick trailer at that E3 conference. It was announced that the developer on it was going to be Team Ninja, who at the time was... basically, they were at the top of their game at that point. They were renowned for the remade Ninja Gaiden trilogy and also the Dead or Alive series. So generally regarded as being very, very good at action games. The Other M was going to have voice acting, it was going to have cool CG cutscenes, just the works. Everybody was really excited. The actual game came out the next year. It was not well received. Like, there are all sorts of reasons why people hate Other M. I honestly don't want to go into it too much. Rather than being first person or strictly 2D, Other M is like, I guess you could call it 2.5D. Like, it's mostly on a 2D plane, but you have free movement back and forth. The plot happens between Fusion and Super Metroid. I'm getting totally lost in this section. Okay, gotta go up and loop over. Yeah, this section is weirdly convoluted, considering the map just makes it look like a big old straight passage. So, if you'll recall in Metroid Fusion, Samus talked a lot about her former commander, Adam Malkovich. Other M is supposed to be mostly like all about her relationship with Adam. He actually shows up in the game. Over the course of the game, basically Samus is sent to investigate... There we go, I missed this. Basically, there's a distress signal on a ship called the Bottle Ship. There's lots of very overt motherhood metaphors going on in that game. Anyway, there's a distress signal. Samus gets there, finds that Adam is there along with a platoon of Federation Marines. Basically, he says, okay, this is an official Federation op, but hey, Samus, you can stay and help us, provided you do every single thing I tell you. You're, like, under my command for this. It's like, well, okay. So over the course of the game, we find out, and stop me if you've heard this one, that the Federation is doing all sorts of weird biological warfare experiment, including reviving and trying to harness Metroids for biological warfare. Yeah, it's exactly the same stuff that happens in Fusion. Also, there's like a human clone of Mother Brain running around, and there's this weird subplot where, like, someone's assassinating the Marines that doesn't go anywhere. Pausing for cutscene. Yeah, you'll note somebody jacked a power up. I do not appreciate this one bit. Sorry. JC, and then I will start rambling again. Right, so this is that robot we accidentally revived. This guy's name is Diggernaut. He is, as the name implies, a digging robot. And he is not too pleased that we pointed a gun at him. No, we are not safe. Not in the slightest. Ah. Luckily, if you're screwing up, the guy is nice enough to slow down when he gets close. Okay, one more and then we're done with this section. I'm actually doing pretty good. Normally I die a lot more than this. Come on, grapple beam. Yeah. Okay. We're good. He's gonna leave us alone now. Space jump get. Space jump allows you to jump repeatedly in midair. Spin jump and then press B at the right time to jump again. Alright, you guys are all familiar with this power-up by now. Basically, while we're somersault jumping, we basically have the ability to fly. Or at least fall with style. It basically works the same as it ever has. At this point, they've kind of firmly established how this thing's going to work. If we fire in midair, we can actually... If we press jump at any point while we're in midair, we'll start somersaulting, so we can trigger this at any time. Including if we fire in midair. The timing's pretty generous, so... At this point, there's luckily not going to be a lot of me screwing up space jumps. Anyway, other M and why everyone hates it. So, yeah, so the game is all about Adam and Samus's relationship. Now, the way that had been established through dialogue in Metroid Fusion is that basically that well, Samus is kind of a loner figure. Like, we know that she doesn't particularly like being taking orders, but with Adam, they had an a relationship based on mutual respect, so they got along for the most part. She respected him, he respected her, vice versa. Okay. Yeah. Okay, there's a warp point in here. Let's get that established. Rather than build on that in Other M, like, Adam mostly kind of comes off as a tyrant, and Samus's character is basically completely screwed over. Like, in... Like, Super Metroid and Fusion are the only games where she has a lot of dialogue, but, like, the general conception, or consensus on Samus's character, she's kind of like a stoic badass with a rich interior life. Like, in Other M, she's very emotional, like, almost comically so. And, like, having emotions is not bad, and character development is good, but mostly she just kind of comes off as, like, a slave to her emotions. She feels really grossly sexist. So yeah, Adam is staring and overbearing. Samus feels weak and submissive. Like, this is not really the most progressive series in the world. Like, you'll note that at the end of every game, if we do well, we get some cheesecake. But they double down on that even more. Like, we see Samus in the Zero suit for a couple scenes, and for some reason they decided to give it heels. Just constant male gaze all over the place. There's a very infamous scene in there where Samus encounters Ridley. This is not a spoiler, he's in every freaking game. And, like, usually, like, whenever Samus encounters Ridley, like, in-game she'll just kind of, like, appear shocked if she reacts at all. In Other M, she has kind of this scene where basically she has PTSD and sort of has a meltdown. And, like, it's not unreasonable for her to have PTSD. I mean, like, the established canon is that Ridley basically killed her parents in front of her. But, depending on whether we count the Prime series, this is either, like, the second or the fourth time she's fought Ridley. So it comes off as not making any sense. When we, the players, are like, oh, look, it's Ridley. What a surprise. Why won't she die? Okay, there we go. Let's see, there's that. There's this gameplay mechanic they introduce where, like, because this is a military op and they're aboard a civilian vessel, at the very beginning of the game, Adam tells Samus, okay, like, I know you've got all this cool weaponry, but you're not allowed to use it. Like, we're trying to avoid collateral damage, so you can't use any of your weapons unless I authorize you to. And this is basically the story conceit they come up with for why Samus can't use all her stuff, and versus, like, her suit getting damaged and she has to regain all of her power-ups again, or several games where there's no justification whatsoever. So, like, on its face, this is a really good idea. Like, Adam goes, okay, like, we don't want you to damage the ship with bombs, so until you get to a situation where you really need bombs, just don't use them at all. And then power-ups get doled out like this every so often. Now, this makes sense, perfect sense with weapons, but like, for example, like, Samus isn't allowed to use the Varia suit. Why? There's no actual reason given. But basically, there's a scene in the game where you have to... where you don't have the Varia suit, but you have to go through a superheated area. And this is the only time in the entire series that happens. Like, Super Metroid, Fusion, Zero Mission, like, if you don't have the Varia suit and you encounter a superheated area, you're supposed to pause and come back. Okay, there's a passage somewhere that I'm missing. Here we go. So yeah, it's very possible to get to that point in Other M and, like, just get stuck because you're sitting there going, okay, we don't have the Varia suit, but the only place we can go is in the hot areas, so where the heck are we supposed to go? So basically, Samus has to go in there with no protection, even though, like, her suit it doesn't have any offensive capabilities. Like, it's not going to damage the ship. And then you have to run through a bunch of superheated areas, and then you're fighting a boss, and then eventually Adam goes, okay, hey Samus, you're authorized to use the Varia suit. And this happens with a whole bunch of other stuff. She can't use the gravity suit until a predefined point. She can't use the grapple beam. Like, it makes sense from a, like, just a story conceit, but it just makes Adam just kind of come off as abusive. Samus's greatest threat, bureaucracy. Exactly. That the game has voice acting, but it's really bad. Samus sounds completely monotone. From what I've heard, Yoshio Sakamoto, even though he's had never done a game with voice acting before, he apparently decided he was going to personally direct the English voice cast. Which has happened a couple times across game history. Like, apparently the director of Shenmue decided to do the same thing, which is why everyone in that game just sounds hilariously stilted. So, not really a good idea, and, like, something like Nintendo should know wasn't a good idea, because, like, this has happened before. But basically, like, this is Other M, honestly, the first game they'd done that really had, like, I guess what you'd call a modern story with, like, voice acting and CG cutscenes and all that. So I think part of the reason it's so lousy is basically they had to relearn a bunch of lessons that most other game devs had already, like, had to go through a decade ago. Voice acting's not great, the plot's weird, the actual game controls aren't great. Sakamoto said he wanted to make it control as simple as an NES game. Okay. So instead of using the both the Wiimote and the nunchucks, so that you had the analog joystick and all the usual complements of buttons, it only uses the Wiimote. So basically you've got a D-pad and 2 buttons to try to make this work, a bunch of the game functions are either simplified or just use sort of like weird mechanics. Like you have the ability to dodge, but you don't have a dodge button. You basically just have to tap a direction when an enemy attacks, and it will do it automatically. And because this is kind of imprecise, the timings on dodging are really generous to the point where you can just sort of spam it over and over again and not get hit. In order to use missiles, you have to actually turn the Wiimote and point it at the screen, and then you go into a first-person mode. This is a huge pain in the butt to actually use in the middle of a fight. Okay, I'm just double checking where I need to go next. Okay, so there's a Metroid over to the left that we need to go fight next. There's a bunch of bits in the game where, like, you're in the middle of a cutscene and the game just sort of arbitrarily pauses, and what it wants you to do is point the Wiimote at the screen and then look around until you find some sort of clue that'll let you advance the story. But this works on, like, really early adventure game rules where you, like, have to point at... You have to find, like, a 2-pixel thing in the corner of the screen that's not clearly marked out. So you can get stuck in these little sequences for a while, just randomly panning around, trying to figure out what the heck it wants you to do. Like, so a lot of why this game was so poorly received is kind of blamed on, like, there being too many cooks in the kitchen. So we had Nintendo working on it, and then Team Ninja was doing the actual gameplay, and then there was a third-party dev called D-Rockets that was handling the CG cutscenes. Like, a lot of people say, well, the reason there's so much weird stuff is, well, because Team Ninja did it, and they introduced all this stuff, and it's against the vision of this series, but from what I've heard, that's not true, because apparently Sakamoto kept a very tight rein on the development. So we were forced to conclude that, like, if... We're trying to figure out where that energy tank is... Nope, need screw attack for that. Yeah, so we're forced to conclude if, like, we're suddenly getting a weird sexist depiction of Samus that, like, that's how Sakamoto has perceived her the whole time. Which is really strange, because, like, he's been producer or director on basically every single other game in the series except for Metroid 2. So yeah, it's a weird game, and you can criticize basically every aspects of it, and, like... Except for the fact that every game's reward is seeing her wearing progressively less clothing, so it's not surprising at all. It's not, but, like... She was at least a cool character with agency before. It was always there, it just became more obvious. Yeah. The big yikes were with us all along. Like, likely the answer is just, like... Because of limitations with storytelling, he just didn't have an option to show us all the gross crap he wanted to before. Anyway, other M is distracting us. In fact, this is our first encounter with a Zeta Metroid. The third stage in the Metroid life cycle. These guys are very, very different from how they were in the original. Mostly in design, like, they were sort of just like weird little bipeds in the original. Now they're... I mean, these guys are now very, very Xenomorph inspired. Let's see if I can get him. So yeah, sucks to discover your heroes are gross old men. Yes, it does. Okay, let me fight this guy and then I'll ramble some more because these guys are a pain. So yeah, Zetametroids, they'll crawl over the screen, they shoot fireballs, weak points are lawless exposed. The main way we're going to do damage is by... you'll note that every so often there'll be a red point on their back when they're on the ceiling. We can use that to grapple them and pull them down, at which point we'll have a big ol' opportunity to shoot missiles at them. Mostly we want to make sure that our newly acquired super missiles are used to their fullest extent. And these are the bits where the frickin' melee counter system are frickin' cool. Come on, get in there. Okay, got him. So, yeah, other M, like, came out, critics were mostly okay with it, because, I mean, the overall gameplay isn't that bad, but fans just hated it. Like, I'm honestly sort of one of the game's defenders. Like, I mostly think, like, most of the plot points are just poorly done, but sort of, like, make sense when you think about them, but, like... Even with that, I've only played through it like twice and really have not touched it since it came out. But yeah, once the word got out, basically sales completely tanked. So yeah, this is that was 2010. This game didn't come out until 2017, and basically, most likely we can blame Other M for the series just kind of dying for most of a decade. The next time we actually got... the next time a Metroid game was actually announced was in 2015, at which they announced Metroid Prime Federation Force at E3 2015. You guys have all heard of that game, right? Right? Nope, nobody has because nobody played it. So yeah, the first Metroid game they announced in the 4-player one, yes. Checking the map. Oh, what the hell? One second, everybody. Emulator just crashed. I think we just saved, so hopefully I didn't lose too much. Okay, can't get through there. I remember being like, oh, new Metro... Oh. Yes, you and everybody else. Basically, in Federation Force, you are not controlling Samus. Instead, there's a group of 3DS, yeah, yep. Basically, instead, you're a group of Federation Marines, and they've got some sort of new mech suits, and they're being sent out on missions. Samus is in it, but like she's just an NPC. I guess she gets mind controlled by space pirates at one point and turns into a boss. So yeah, but basically the Metroid series had been gone, and we hadn't heard from it in like 5 years, and then they come out and say, "Oh hey, here's a new Metroid game. Oh, it's a spin-off. The main character barely features in it. It's a weird 4-player co-op game instead of like the single-player adventures you all are used to." Bad one. Okay, I'm running down to grab that Aeon tank on the map. Yeah, apparently it's not too bad. I honestly never played it though, because apparently like it's very much balanced for 4 players. And I only knew a couple of people who actually had 3DSs, so I figured I had 0 chance of getting a full group together and just didn't bother. Okay, so we had Other M, which sucked so badly it basically killed the series for a couple years. Then we had a weird spin-off that nobody wanted, and honestly, like, if they'd released it, like, a couple years later after we'd gotten Samus Returns, maybe it would have been better received. Okay, so jump ahead to 2017. This is the E3 where Metroid Prime 4 was announced. Although that's all it really was, because basically it was just like a teaser that didn't amount to anything, and then just the logo. So everybody did get excited about that, and then Samus Returns was announced at the same show. However, it was not announced in the actual Nintendo Direct. Like after the main Nintendo Direct video for E3s, Nintendo always does their Nintendo Treehouse segment, which is basically a deep dive into the games they announced, and they'll show gameplay and do little interviews and whatnot. So yeah, Samus Returns was actually announced during that. Like, it was the first game they showed off after the conference. But yeah, it was almost like they were either ashamed of it or worried that everyone was going to lose their marbles again. So yeah, they sort of stealth announced this game after the main conference, and then show us some of the gameplay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going down and around. I see an item up there. Come back. Sadly, trying to navigate this game and ramble about game development is actually kind of tricky, just because of how convoluted this one is. Let's kill this Metroid and I'll start talking again. Oh hey, it's an alpha. Yeah, sorry, you guys are basically speed bumps at this point. Okay, so with that, we have killed all the Metroids in this area. We can actually go unlock the Chozo seal and get the heck out of here. Ha, it's up there. Sadly, I have not played this one nearly enough times to memorize it, so... Even though I just replayed it, I remember the general position of all these missiles and whatnot, but not exactly. So anyway, Samus Returns was not actually developed internally by Nintendo, much like how Metroid Prime was done by Retro Studios in America. This one was developed by a Spanish development company called Mercury Steam. Fortunately, there is not a whole lot of information about these guys, but what I did find out is that the company was founded in 2002 by a couple of developers from the former was it Rebel Axe Studios. Apparently, they only were able to put out one game before folding, a PC action game called Severance Blade of Darkness, which honestly I had never heard of before this. Best I could tell from a quick search is apparently it was pretty decent, just didn't get any traction. So yeah, that studio folded. A couple of the core members found Mercury Steam. They made a couple of games. One was American McKee against Scrapland, which I think was a post-apocalyptic adventure game, and then Clive Barker's Jericho, which was a horror game on I think the 360 and PC. I have not played that one either, but it's supposed to be fairly decent. And PS3, okay. Vaughn, did you actually play that one? It's okay. Okay, fair enough. Right, so here is Area 5. This is basically going to be the last, like, really big area of the game. There's going to be 3 major power-ups in here, and this is going to get us basically everything else we need to finish this. We just have to try not to get lost too often. So yeah, Mercury Steam's big break was actually when they got contacted by Konami. They actually were contracted to do a couple of Castlevania games, mostly Lords of Shadow 1 and 2, which were 3D action games on 360, PS3, etc. Hideo Kojima was actually director on those. The third Castlevania game they did was Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate, which is very much like this game. It's a 2.5D action-adventure game. Much like the 2D Castlevania games of old. I haven't actually played it, but I should at some point. So yeah, these Castlevania games got them on the map. And then after that, apparently they started like beating down Nintendo's door, asking if they could make a remake of Metroid Fusion. So Nintendo told them no, but Sakamoto was apparently impressed enough by Mirrors of Fate that when he started working on his next project, he was like, okay, we're not going to let you do Metroid Fusion, but how about you do a remake of Metroid 2 instead? Yeah, and that was this game right here. It was in development for 2 years. Mercury Steam did the actual development, overseen by Nintendo. Yoshio Sakamoto was not the actual director on this one, he was just executive producer. The director was a guy named Takahiro Hosokawa. He was a designer on Metroid 2. He was co-director on a bunch of the secondary Mario games, Super Mario Land 2, the Wario games. He was the director on Other M. And I think, most importantly, he was director on a bunch of the 3DS Street Pass titles, namely Flower Town and Monster Manor. So, pretty decent track record with Nintendo. The composer is Daisuke Matsuoka. His first game was Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. Also did the soundtrack for Find Me, Tomodachi Life, and most recently the re-release of Super Mario 3D World on the 3DS, not the 3DS, the Switch. He did the music for the Bowser's Fury expansion. So yeah, Mercury's team collaborated with Nintendo on this game. Did pretty well, and effectively it served as an audition for them, because they have... Okay, I can't get back through here with the gravity suit. They were also the lead developers on our upcoming Metroid Dread. Which I will absolutely ramble about what I know about that game's development tomorrow. So yeah, Nintendo's been doing a lot of collaboration with third-party studios recently, and it seems to be working out for them pretty well. Most recent other title I can think of is, what is it, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and then Luigi's Mansion 3. Both of those were by a studio called Next Level Games. Okay, so here's our final Aeon ability, the Phase Drift. Phase Drift uses Aeon to slow time for everybody but you. Press down equipped, press A while equipped to activate. Press A while equipped to... Press A again to deactivate. Alright, so this thing can be used as a combat tool. Gonna loop back through because I forgot that was there. Mostly what this is used for is basically it's a sort of replacement for the speed booster. You recall in Super Metroid we had to run frequently to get over collapsing floors. Basically, instead of running so fast that they don't collapse on us, we're instead going to slow down time and run over them, and take the opportunity to run over them before they can actually blow up. So yeah, we had to fall through here before. Now we just turn on the phase drift and run over it. So yeah, kind of a neat ability. I don't really use it much outside of areas where we need to, just because it uses Aeon so fast. I understand Metroid Dread also has a bit Aeon abilities, but luckily your gauge apparently automatically regenerates, so hopefully I will actually use Aeon abilities in that one instead of like hoarding them for areas where they're required. Yeah, pretty simple area here, just gotta slow down time and then get through the fireballs. So yeah, that's my Metroid rant. Any questions? Okay, so we're gonna go up, get a beam upgrade first. Did actually manage to find a list of the enemies in this game. Those guys are just called automs. If you note that green laser, that's the track they run back and forth on. Unfortunately, right now, there's not a lot we can do to destroy them, other than blow energy on the beam burst. Same with these guys, the Autodes. Well, we are going to get some upgrades that'll make those guys much easier to deal with. Alright, Plasma Beam get. Plasma Beam accumulates and then releases. Powerful plasma enemy can pass through multiple enemies. Alright, as usual, the Plasma Beam is Samus's most powerful upgrade. Now, we can basically use it to destroy almost everything. These guys are destroyed, those Autrax are destroyed, we can kill the Autodes. Let's see, can I get that missile? Nope, not gonna be able to destroy this crystal till the very end of the game. Okay, so there's one more major offensive upgrade we're gonna get soon, and after that, for the most part, we're not really gonna have to counter random cannon fodder enemies. Thank goodness. If I sound like I hate this game because I keep complaining about it, I honestly don't. I am extremely happy it exists. I just also think it's quite obvious they had to basically figure out how Metroid worked again. Yeah, we'll come back and get that in a sec. La la, Samus loves swimming. Right, hello, gravity suit. Gravity suit greatly reduces damage received. It also prevents lava damage and allows you to move freely in liquid. Yeah, you guys know what this does by now. Using the power of purple, instead of having to slowly trudge through water, we can run through it normally, and all of our abilities like the space jump will function normally. Yeah, whoops. Okay, I don't think that block's gonna respawn, so we can just go slowly, get this missile. Stupid little bugs. Plasma beam makes it a lot easier to destroy those little bugs, but fortunately, even if there's even any of them left, they can still do damage to you. There's... Okay, no, there are two vertical shafts right here, and the second one has stuff in it. Dang it. Don't mind me just stepping on the video game equivalent of brakes. Okay, no. This time we're going to activate the phase shift and just run through. Sigh. Okay, we're going to do this one more time because that's a super missile and we need more of them. Okay, screw conserving energy, we're going to just run straight through and get it. There we go. Okay, we can go this way now. Okay, we still have to use the beam burst for the giant flowers. Those guys are apparently called blob throwers, by the way. I haven't seen them throw any blobs specifically, but no. I swear, I did this area recently, and for some reason I keep forgetting it's full of collapsing forms. Not getting me this time. Yeah, we absolutely want every single super missile expansion we can get our hands on because against bosses they're our most effective weapon by an extremely large margin and we only get like 2 of them for every single tank we find. Up we go. Ah, ha ha ha. Come here, you. The little flying enemies that shoot blood at us are apparently called drivel, which makes me feel bad for them. And the obnoxious spinny guys are called sumaris. You'd spit blood too if you were called a dribble. Understandable. Okay, there's another item in that room, but we can't get to it right yet. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You mean you spit blood because you have a horrible name? And because you have a horrible name, you spit blood? Okay. Okay, I need to go down and around. We're almost there. Dribbles dribble the blood. Ah, yes. Sorry, not dribble with a B. Drivel. As in, like, nonsense. Somebody told them they needed consummate V's. Hello, screw attack. Screw attack emits powerful energy waves during spin jumps, which can be used to damage enemies upon impact. Yeah, our faithful friendly screw attack has been in every single game we've played so far. And as usual, it's basically an I win button. Or at least it is most of the time. Unfortunately, the devs have nerfed it in a bunch of very annoying ways, which I will mention as they come up. Can't really use screw attack against Metroids, which is fine because you couldn't in the original. Come on, let me pull you down. Screw attack kills most things. It'll also take care of these blue blocks we've been seeing occasionally throughout the game. Yeah, it's an I win button against most things. Not the freaking Sumeris. Why? I don't know. Okay, now that we've got this, let's head back up, because there's some stuff we skipped up here. Yeah, also the dribbles, for some reason, they take 2 hits from the screw attack. Sadly, I'm not sure how much raw damage this is supposed to do because I looked around and couldn't find anyone who actually listed damage values for this game. And as usual, the gravity suit lets us withstand lava, so this room's a lot less scary than would be otherwise. Come on, come over here. Show me your big ugly face. Okay, I got the one up here. There's one in the middle. Another two down there, so let's head that way. Yeah, now that we've got the screw attack, this area is honestly going to go by pretty quick. Definitely want to save right here because now I'm paranoid it's going to crash again. It actually did crash on me earlier when I was trying to finish my test run, but that was when I was trying to use the screenshot tool for some reason. Heaven forbid I take a picture. No flash photography. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Obviously I disobeyed the posted signs. Yeah. We still need the beam burst to destroy these things, but that's fine because I think that's the last time those show up. Ah, there we go. Yeah, even after they introduced the Zetametrids, they're still mostly gammas for some reason. Which is okay, we more or less know how to deal with them at this point. Nope. Doesn't look like there's a faster way out of this room. That's fine. Paranoia. Paranoia. Haha. Okay. So here's our friends, the frickin' bats. We haven't actually seen too many of these recently. These are called Golugs, incidentally. For some reason, they introduced those zappy ones. You actually cannot melee counter those. A novel concept, I know. More missiles, ahaha. Off to a bad start on this one. Okay. Sadly, I keep automatically jumping over them and missing my opportunity to counter them. Did it again. Okay, got it. And good thing too, because I was on my last tank. Okay, let's see. There are 2 more, and they're both over in this general area. Okay. Turning the lightning armor on just so we don't accidentally die. Incidentally, there's less than 10 Metroids to go. We are almost done. Although, counterpoint, that means all the ones that are left are really scary types. Nothing else. I'm pretty sure that alpha we killed a little while ago was the very last one. Okay, so over here we got an up and a down. The down will let us double back to the main area, so we want to go up first. Okay, pretty sure it's safe to turn the armor off now. There it is. It wants you to think you have to go through the red vines to get that missile, but you don't. Yeah, excuse me. Okay, I'm not 100% sure if this is the last Gamma, but if it's not, I think it's second to last. Yeah. Easy peasy. Not much the poor things can do to stand up against super missiles. These rooms right here are equivalent to those ones in Metroid 2. They were just kind of full of floaty, spiky blocks. Still spiky, slightly less floaty. If I haven't mentioned it, you need the plasma beam to destroy those green-shelled guys. Open those doors. There's nothing else that's able to pierce through them. That's right. Can't get through that one because it's a power bomb block. Do not want fireballs today. Okay. Is it you? Are you the fabled last Gamma Metroid spoken of in the ancient texts? I just still don't know why I still consistently screw up the timing on those so often. Oh well. Alright, and that's the end of Area 5, provided we're able to get back to the start. I think it's safe to call this the last of the particularly long areas. 3 after this are more or less straightforward. Okay, we should be able to get this now. The reason we couldn't before is because we couldn't get out of the water. Not today, bats. Yeah. Realistically, at this point, we've reached the... We've got enough gear that we don't really need more missiles. Most of these are easy enough to stop and pick up, so there's no real reason not to. Goodbye, purple liquid. Incidentally, that appears to be what that stuff is actually called. It seems to be referred to either as purple liquid or dangerous liquid. Which I guess they're not wrong. Welch's death juice. La da 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 do. You know, I'm not sure why the Chozo bothered putting an elevator in here when you have to crawl through like a series of twisty passages to get to it. I know, it's a video game. Same general problem in Metroid Prime. It's like, okay, how does anyone get around when all of the technology appears to require you to turn into a little ball and plant bombs on it? Okay, these guys are called gravits, and for whatever reason, we can't kill them with either the plasma beam or the screw attack. We either have to use Beam Burst or our next upgrade. Designed by Bozo Chozo. It's not fair to call them bozos. They just, you know, really, really liked escape rooms. Okay, we need just one. Well, that can't be too hard, right? Hey, that's mine! Well, there's no helping it at this point, chat. We're just going to have to murder the giant robot. So it is Metal Gear. Nope, can't get through this one yet. Yeah, honestly, as I think you'll see when we actually fight it, that Diggernaut probably is worthy of being a Metal Gear star. How strange, this room is big and empty. I wonder why. Let's see. Stop it. Stop with the blood. Okay. Now we can go back over to the left. Like, look at this room. It's made of flesh. Obviously, this room is completely unremarkable. Yeah, I see you, buddy. Get back here. Ah. Don't jump over me. That's not cool. Got him. Hello, creepy empty room. Still nothing? Okay. Yeah, as much as I rag on the melee counter, it's always cool when you pull one off on an actual Metroid. Yeah, those ant things are called glow flies for some reason. And they largely exist so the game devs can be dicks. Because if you screw attack into them, you'll just take damage. Okay. And at this point we're trapped, so we're gonna have to take a big loop. Big loop that conveniently is going to take us through that conspicuously empty room for some reason. Let's see. Dang it. Dang it, fan. There we go. Same thing. We just need one Metroid to appease the Chozo gods. Yeah. Okay. Do our best to avoid the glow flies, because this damn thing's hurt. Okay, so now that we've drug that around, we gotta go back up or through. Okay, this time we can come over here. Up. Grab it. Okay. Okay, now pull this back over. Come on, Sam. So you can do it. Up through the tunnel. Ray super missiles. Good. Onward and upward. For more missiles. There was an area exactly like this in Metroid 2 where lava trapped us somewhere. So if you have a very good memory, you should be able to figure out what's coming up next. Alright, here's our first Omega level Metroid, and they are much scarier now. You recall the original, basically all they did was kind of fly around and shoot fireballs. Not so this time. Samus, now you're just showing off. Yeah, honestly, same general strategy as the Omega Metroid fight at the very end of Fusion. Want to get in there, fire diagonally upward, and try to get this torso. I don't know why I have a much easier time countering these guys than I do Gammas for whatever reason. Ouch. Yeah, you want to be careful when you're up close because as he takes more damage, he'll sometimes string these attacks in upwards of 3 hits. Got him. Yeah, as long as you're patient, they're honestly not too bad. Just want to be careful and make sure that you make all of your super missiles count. Okay, so there is a boss fight in this area, but that's the last Metroid we have to deal with. For now, we need to get back to that Chozo Steel and make it let us out. Duh. just gotta head downward and to the left. Ow. Glowflies are such jerks. There we go. Once more, without forgetting about the collapse influence. And nope, can't get. Yeah. There we go. Got it. Okay, that's an ammo station. We don't. Is that ammo? Sometimes the red and purple ones look really similar. Item in the wall over there. Whoops. We're almost to the end of the area. Just this one big room at this point. flies. Leave us alone. Yeah, you'll note that that one is black and red instead of, I guess, kind of orangish. Well, that one we can't destroy right now. Come on, come over here. And the fact that we can't is very annoying because we need freaking Aeon powers to get through that little freaking section. Okay. There we go, got it. Okay, live back through. Go. And this one's an Aeon tank, it's completely worth it. Okay. Nope, gotta go down. Yeah, right here. Alright, you ready for boss time? Because it is boss time. I, for one, appreciate someone built that big door for him just so he could make a dramatic entrance. Okay, so the key to this fight is patience. Most of his attacks are pretty predictable, but it is a long fight. And if you are not being patient, you're honestly not going to make it just due to sheer attrition. Okay, so right now we need to focus on his head whenever he sticks it out. Super missiles are our best friend. Yeah, so when he does this attack, you just want to wait for the top arm to be going upward and then just do a small hop to get over the arms. Alright, this bit right here should be familiar if you've ever played a Metroid Prime game. Basically, those are spider ball tracks. Okay, want to be careful for this section. Okay, so when he does the suction, you want to spider ball to the ground, otherwise he's going to suck you up and do a whole bunch of damage. And while he's doing this, you can plant bombs, which will you'll get sucked up and do damage. Yeah, this right here is honestly the best thing he can do, since you're completely safe as long as you know the spider ball trick. Okay. There, plant bombs. Okay, this section right here you want to be very careful because those lasers do a ton of damage. Basically just short hop when there's two, and then do a short double hop to get over the third part. Short hop. And hop twice. Same as usual right here, just follow them, plant bombs. Yeah, so for right there, we're basically waiting for those little purple weak points to line up with those bits on the inner core. As long as you're sticking to the purple spot specifically, you're safe when he electrocutes himself. Okay, I should be okay. I've got half my health and there's only one little core point left. Ouch. Okay, let's hang here until they line up. Okay, got him. I love that cutscene. Samus is just like, nope, I've had enough of your shit. Here is our final upgrade, our good friends, the power bombs. Power bombs create massive explosions that emit an enormous amount of heat. They can be used to open yellow doors. Morph ball form, hold R, and then press Y to set one. Okay, so we appear to be stuck in here. What we need to do is just blow him up. Yeah, just for contrast, that scene right there is why Other M annoys people so much. Just like, in every other game in the series, Samus takes no shit from anyone. Okay. So see that spiked shaft up there? They introduced a very cool new ability for the power bombs. Basically what you need to do is spider ball onto any wall, hit the power bomb, and basically this is the replacement for the shine spark. You will be propelled infinitely in whatever direction you're going until you hit a wall. So there's been a couple of times we've seen spike corridors that I have not been able to get through. That's what we need to do. And once more, to my knowledge, the game does not actually teach you how to do that unless you, I was gonna say watch the attract mode, but I don't think this one actually has one. After this, I can go back and check if the manual mentions it, because the actual in-game tutorial does not. Yeah, so the red and black guys, incidentally, we can actually destroy those now. We just need to use power bombs on them. Okay, be back in 1 second, and we'll tackle Area 7. Alright. Okay, here's Area 7. This is honestly my favorite area in the game. It's got the best design, and now that we've got all of our core abilities, the devs can basically throw whatever they want at us, secure in the knowledge that we can actually get through it. Item up here. Okay, over there. A beam on the missiles. Okay. Another item down here, and we don't remember if I can get this one, but I'm gonna try because it says it's super missile. Thank you. No. and it's I guess it's not an ability per se, but there is one tool the game is not going to give us until the end. Alright, here we are in the genetics lab. Now, the game will tell us what this area is for, but not until the very end. We're gonna need some unlockable content to piece together the context here. So to here, here. Yeah, seriously, just rocketing across the area like that is just the best thing in this game, probably. Got an energy recharge station, but I'm gonna get to it from the other side. There we go. Recharge stations are very, very welcome at this point because even with all of our upgrades, taking a hit from basically anything is going to tank off a whole tank at once. Energy tank down around other. Can't actually get the energy tank because I don't have any freaking power bombs left, but... Okay, thank goodness. Or at least we're able to get back to it easily. Okay, so there's two halves of this area. Both the middle and the upper passage will both get those to either side. I'm gonna go up first just because there's a recharge station up there. Okay, Mega Metroid the second. Okay, whenever he starts on the ceiling and sweeps downward, you actually want to roll through his legs to get past it. Ow. Gotcha. Okay. Almost down, but I'm out of super missiles, so... Phew, thank you. Gave me a power bomb, so I should be able to get to this top passage. Sarumis, go away. Whatever. Don't care. Okay. Charge station is very much appreciated because I need so many power bombs in this section. Okay. Could not get all the way through there because I ran out of Aeon. That's okay, there's a big orb down there. I just gotta go grab it. While I'm down here, that energy recharge station is right there, so let's go do that too. So we're all full up. Hopefully I can get through the rest of this area without having to top up again. There. Okay, phew, got it. Okay, well, I don't think I'll need the recharge station again. I am gonna go grab this big orb just in case. Okay, and now we can use this tunnel to basically just our way to the other side of this area. Seriously, that is so satisfying. There's actually another set of recharge stations on this side. Probably because they knew how annoying all of the robots were. Okay, so right here I can power jump again. That'll give me an Aeon tank. Yeah, that's actually most of the area. There's 2 more Omega Metroids in this little section, and then we can go. so we do need to power jump to get through there. Specifically to down to this protruding edge. Alright, come on, big guy, let's go. Yep. Well, had to screw up eventually. Oh, cool, he did it again. Trying to be careful because I think he's taken enough damage that he might do the big combo if I let him. Ouch. Okay, he'll generally only do this when he's almost done for. Honestly, when the ground's on fire, there's really nothing to do but space jump and stay out of the way. Okay, is this gonna finish him off? Ew. Okay, nice. I wasn't sure if he was gonna get me before I hit. I was not sure if he was gonna get me with the fire beam before I had finished him off in that little exchange at the end there. Did you? Okay, just gotta climb back up. Let's see. Okay. Nope, not that way. Gotta go in from the bottom. I think we're gonna go past 11, but hopefully not too much past. Flamethrowers. keep forgetting about that. You can actually destroy the webbing on this chest with a power bomb. I don't think he takes damage from them otherwise, though. Ow. Come on. Just stay put and let me finish off. Okay, come on. Seriously, buddy? That was a finishing move. You're supposed to be finished. Seriously, this one just doesn't feel like dying, apparently. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we are able to hit the Chozo seal, and that was actually our very last Omega Metroid. Just one more left. Okay, before we leave, I am going to go back up and hit the ammo station. It's because there isn't one on the way out, and we're low on basically everything. Of course, it's as I come up here that I remember, oh wait, no. When you activate the Chozo seal, it completely tops you off. Oh well. I don't know, I might have to use like all of my power bombs to get to the end there. It's actually the last Chozo seal. Smooth sailing from here. don't care about that A thing. Okay. Why must you guys hang out in these little passages? I just want to finish devastating an ecosystem without having to, like, kill little spiky things every 2 seconds. Is that so much to ask, really? Come on. Okay, Area 8, we're almost done. It's basically a straight vertical climb from here. In the little passage. There we go. Don't respawn. There we go. Yeah, there is a little shortcut right here just in case you need it back and recharge it on. Okay, absolutely can't get through that right there. It's fine. Okay, in the original, this area right here was just a big ol' empty room. Obviously that couldn't fly, so now it's just whoops. Puzzle crap. So on the right side of this big old room, there's a power bomb. Left side, there's a missile, and to actually make progress, we need to go through the middle. Honestly, ignore that thing on the left. One super missile in here, I'm gonna grab that, but otherwise we have places to be. Once again, power bombs are exceptionally useful for navigating puzzle rooms. Just because unlike the scan pulse, they'll actually tell you what the blocks are. Sounds like somebody's angry up there. Alright, chat, if you remember this segment of the game, I'm about to ask you something. And if you have very good memories, you'll be able to answer it before I even ask you. I mean, you can answer Vaughn. I mean, if somebody answers first, they get the gold star. Freeze and 5 missiles, yes. You, as always, are my star pupil. I wonder what that is. Oh, hey, I wonder, can we cause a time paradox? Nope. Alright, here they are. These are our original Metroids. Can't harm them with just straight up missiles. You need to freeze them first and then hit them with 5 regular missiles or 1 super missile. Now, there is a wrinkle in this one. You need to hit them with a charged ice beam shot. Otherwise, they just will not stay frozen long enough to actually kill them in one go. Come on. And if you mess up and they grab you, just roll up and plant a bomb and it'll get them off. Yeah. That was my bad. I am going to do this the hard way for all of them and use the charge beam just because we are going to need every super missile we can get very, very soon. Yeah, as usual, Stage 1 Metroids aren't that bad, you just gotta make sure they don't ambush you. You don't want to go up first. And honestly, that's probably gonna be the last time I have to quiz you guys on how to fight regular Metroids, because there should not be any in Dread, because they're all supposed to be dead. Unless, of course, the Robo Metroid. Shit, yeah, you might be right. Shouldn't be any unless the Federation somehow manages to revive them and do unethical experiments for the 3rd time. Alright, last Metroid's down here. They wouldn't do that. No, of course not. Superhero landing. Not my Federation. Alright, here she is, the Metroid Queen. Alright, so when she sets the floor or the ceiling on fire, just want to stay out of the way. Now, I use the space jump. Honestly, what you really want to do is use the spider ball instead for these segments. We will see why in a moment, but it is much, much safer. Yeah, so anytime she opens her mouth, you want to hit the interior of it, either with the ice beam or with missiles. Now, I am going to save my super missiles for this time being, just so that I can use them to hopefully get us out of the later phases faster. Okay, so when she drops power-ups, what you want to do is wait for the rear back, counter her. You'll see the red dot in her mouth. You want to grab that with a grappling beam, roll into her stomach, and then plant a power bomb. Okay, when she lights the wall on fire specifically, you want to roll up, use the spider ball because she's going to try to push you back into it. Got the spider ball active, it doesn't work. Okay, yeah, so the green fireballs. This is why you want to use the spider ball. Like, theoretically you could dodge those using the space jump, but it's not likely to go well. Okay, I think we're safe to start using super missiles. Sit and wait. Counter. Grappling beam. Lightning armor. Power bomb. You specifically want to use the lightning armor for that because the interior of her body kind of hurts. She did the ceiling, so she's gonna blow us now, I think. Okay, that was annoying. This time she's gonna blow us. Counter. Grapple. Lightning armor. Power bomb. Alright, Queenie. Goodbye. Okay, I think most of the counters are optional. They just make it go faster, but I believe you actually have to bomb her stomach for the last one, otherwise the fight won't stop. Just like Babby is so cute this time. Just look at it. Not even Samus can shoot you. Just look at it. Just look at it bounce around. We're gonna be best buds forever. That distracted me with cute Babby. I still know what she did to it. I didn't do it, Mother Brain did it! Yeah, you can just never play Super Metroid again. Okay. So yeah, once again, the babby has the ability to break through those little crystals. In Metroid 2, they only existed along this trek to the finale. Fortunately, in the remake, because Sakamoto is suddenly obsessed with wasting your time at the end of the game, there are several upgrades that you cannot get without having the babby with you. So basically, even though this is the end of the game and we're supposed to be, like, heading back to our ship triumphant, if we wanted to go for 100% at this point, we would have to double back and collect items. I'm not going to do that. I don't care. Although, if this is your first time playing, you absolutely do want to go and go back through the rest of the game and get 100% of the items, because there is something very important gated behind 100% item progression. I'm going to cheat and just show you what it is. Honestly, I don't miss not having the speed booster in this game. I think the phase shift and the power jump sub in for it just fine. Fortunately, the devs don't agree with me. I already know from the previews that the speed booster is going to be back in Dread, which I can only assume means that we're going to once more have obnoxious, maddening shine spark puzzles, because sorry, we are supposed to be completing the game. I will stop complaining. So there are several upgrades along this path, which I am going out of my way to get. And obviously that makes no sense because we've played this game already, and we know that after we defeat the Metroid Queen, it is just a calm, sedate walk back to the ship. Nevertheless, I persist. Okay, this will appear, and I think you have to be actually on the ceiling just so you stay put long enough for the babby to break through the crystal. I honestly would like to know what this crystal is supposed to be, since, like, Metroids feed primarily on life energy. Are those organic formations of some sort? Don't know. Game is not forthcoming. Okay, so we're gonna save here. There's no reason to do that because we've already beat the game, but... oh, I don't know, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Ouch. Go up here. Seriously, I've done this before. Somehow I always forget there's yet another freaking all through one. I like this game. I just really wish the devs didn't seem to be intent on being dicks at multiple points. Good. There we go. Okay, that right there, if you have gotten everything else, is the very, very last item in the whole game. Okay, hey, there's the ship. We're done. He's just so excited. He gets to go on a ride in a spaceship. Oh. Hi, Ridley. This isn't canon. You didn't show up in the original. Okay, so, yeah, Ridley's here because there are 3 things in life that are inevitable: death, taxes, and Ridley. This is the multi-phase fight, and once more I am saving my super missiles for the later phases just so we can get through them faster. Now. Okay. I need to be more careful because this is a long fight and I've taken a bunch of damage already. First phase is pretty easy. He just alternates between shooting fireballs at you and stabbing you with the tail. Oh, no you don't, you fucker. Let go of my kid. Yeah, eat shit, Ridley. Okay, as always, Ridley's weak spot is his head. His weak spot must be the head, yes. Yes, it is. Okay, if you see him plant his tail, that means he's gonna charge at you. No, kid, stay by the ship. Okay, at this point he will shoot the fireballs downward. Make sure you're not on the ground because it's going to unleash that shockwave. And if he rears back like that, it means he's about to charge. Okay, you'll note I'm relying on charged plasma shots. That's because super missiles work, but unfortunately regular missiles are actually completely useless in this fight for whatever reason. Yeah. Unlike most Ridley fights, he is fairly predictable, so you just want to be calm and patient. Unfortunately, Samus takes way too much damage in this one to win in a damage race like you can normally, so... Can just be patient, keep dodging, and he'll go down eventually. Okay, he's charging. Let's get over him. Incidentally, this variation is called Proteus Ridley. So, Ridley history, we killed him back in the original Metroid. In Metroid Prime, he is rebuilt in a mechanical form. We saw kind of an allusion to that in Zero Mission. So the Prime series, he's a robot of some sort. At this point, they appear to have managed to, like, clone him, but not fix him entirely. So he appears to be half organic, half machine at the moment. And then by the time Super Metroid comes out, we will have transferred back to completely organic Ridley. You said it, kid. Samus is just like, he never quits. Okay, now we are finally done. It's so freaking cute. Alright, that's Metroid Samus Returns. As much as I rag on it, I do genuinely enjoy this game. And I am genuinely glad it exists, if only because it gave Sakamoto enough confidence in this new developer to let them tackle Metroid Dread. Not gonna ramble about Dread too much yet, because I can do that tomorrow. But the game does have a very convoluted story behind its development. Incidentally, you can sort of pan these little scenes during the ending if you want to. Incidentally, Samus wears the belt buckle from her days in the Chozo Rodeo. That's not canon, but it should be. Chozodio, yes. Yeah, we thought the last area in Zero Mission was called Chozodia, but no, because that's where the rodeo arena was. You pointed a gun at me, now I'm gonna make it or have a big ol' fit. Pew pew pew. Samus, you can't just do finger guns at everything. Or can she? About handgun. Five hours, 48 minutes. It's the middle ending. This game is honestly so long. Like, past couple games we had to get below 2 hours in order to get best ending. For this one, it would be 4 hours. I'll be honest, I've never gotten good enough at this one to even get, like, the standard fastest ending. I've not felt like practicing. Horno, don't eat that! Alright, that was an X-Parasite, and a reminder that this is why you don't, like, go in and, like, unilaterally devastate ecosystems. Doesn't turn out good for anyone. Okay, hard mode has been unlocked. You can select it when you start a new game. I use Metroid-related amiibo to unlock new content in the gallery. You can access the amiibo menu from the map menu or the Samus Files screen. Okay, so I do have some bonus content for this one for you guys. Right back though, I need to go back into the background here and just swap my saves around. Basically, I just went on the internet and found a 100% save. This is from a guy on gbatemp.net called the Otsutsuki. Thank you, good sir, on the internet. So yeah, there's basically one gallery you can unlock by doing 100% completion, and there's a bunch of stuff that's gated behind amiibos. The first of those is Fusion Mode, which is basically extra hard difficulty. I think you're like permanently capped to 99 energy, and I think I've beat this, but only once because it was not fun. It's called Fusion Mode because you actually get to play it using the Fusion suit. Anyway, let's hop in here. Right, so aside from Fusion Mode, the amiibo unlock a 3 different galleries. We got some Metroid 2 concept art, some remake concept art, and then there's a sound test. The thing we're most interested in is a section called the Chozo Memories. Basically, this is backstory the game did not want to share with us. Got 11 pictures here. This depicts the Chozo, presumably when they first arrived on planet SR-388. In this one, they appear to be discovering and harvesting Aeon. Got a scientist in the background who appears to be studying this strange new energy source. Also, the critters are eating each other because SR-388 is not a good place. Alright, here the Chozo are moving in. They're getting their hordes of construction bots out. You'll notice up in the upper left they appear to be putting the finishing touches on Diggernaut. Also got some soldiers here. They've got energy shields and the standard big shoulders from the Varia suit. Right, at this point, the Chozo have discovered the X-Parasites, who are native to this particular planet. I honestly, like, if these critters are endemic, I don't understand how they didn't just, like, destroy the entire planet before, like, anybody else got here. Like, seriously, why wasn't every single creature on SR-388 already an X-Parasite? I don't know. We need an ecologist. Alright, so in order to deal with this, the Chozo scientists get their best genetic engineer out and they actually create Metroids. So yeah, this is the first time in any of the actual games that they actually tell us that the Chozo specifically created the Metroids. They weren't just native to this planet. The only other place this is mentioned is in the Metroid manga that has all Samus's backstory. You'll note I have talked about the manga in the past, but I did not disclose this particular plot point just because I knew that it was going to eventually become relevant in this game. So yeah, these gosh darn Metroids that are all over the galaxy causing havoc. The Chozo actually made them specifically to try to deal with the X-Parasite problem. Here we've got Metroids going at it. This seems to be the purpose of their life siphoning ability. One of them is actually latched onto a parasite-infected Hornode and appears to just be sucking life out of it. Otherwise, they appear to just be able to eat the dang things. Hooray! Job well done! Yeah, incidentally, like, supposedly that guy up in the upper left has some sort of gauntlet that he's using to control the Metroids. So luckily the Chozo were at least smart enough to engineer a way to control these freaking life-sucking parasites they created. Or at least they were initially. For some reason, we don't know why, the Metroids began mutating, assuming their alpha state, at which point the Chozo lost control of them. So in a desperate bid to keep them contained to the interior of the planet where they could keep doing their actual job, they came up with a system of sealing the inner layers of the planet using the purple liquid. You'll note that at no point did we fight any Metroids in any rooms that had either contained or had formerly contained the purple liquid. Still don't know what it is. It's of Chozo origin. My understanding of this scene is that basically the Chozo and SR-38 have summoned this guy in the right for help. The wiki refers to him as the Chozo General. Until we hear otherwise, that's just what I'm going to call him. Okay, so as you slowly collect all the items, these images will all individually unlock. It initially tells you that there's 10 of them. The 11th one that we're about to look at does not unlock until you've got all the rest of them done. We can't see it here because this is a compiled save, but it'll actually play some ominous music when it triggers. So yeah, apparently our Chozo General's idea of helping is just to come in and apparently slaughter every Chozo that was on SR-388. We don't know why, like, basically, like, we had this little bit of information and Samus returns and then nothing else. Like, Sakamoto made some cryptic comments about it and that's it. I will note, we are going to see this guy again, unless we're all very mistaken. The General here is the same Chozo that has showed up in several of the Metroid Dread trailers. So this guy right here is most likely going to be the antagonist in our next game. Okay, that's the Chozo's History of SR-388. It's nice of them to actually put some of this in one of the dang games, even if there's, like, it doesn't explain it. Because again, like, before this, all of the backstory for this series was more or less just contained in the official Metroid manga, which, you know, has never been released in English. We can only read it through a fan translation. Yeah, a bit of backstory, all of which is going to finally become relevant in Dread. I'll just flip through the concept art real quickly. Samus. Metroids, here's the Metroid life cycle. For some reason, the Alpha and the Gammas are switched. Alpha, Gamma, Zeta, Omega, Metroid Queen, the guy Arachnus who always steals our Spring Ball, Red Egg, Hornode, their Drivels. I've always just quite liked that hand-painted style we'd get in like the late 80s, early 90s. Chozo statue, Nemesis gunship, that is the space jump, area suit, energy tank, ice beam, wave beam, spacer beam, attack. That's not sure if that's the bombs or the spider ball. Samus looking cool. Incidentally, I think I mentioned this, played the original, but Metroid 2 is basically when they nailed down like the official design of Samus's power suit. Like, if you like go back and look at the manual for Metroid 1, like it's just kind of more of like a jumpsuit with a helmet. It's got some wires and stuff on it, but mostly it just kind of looks like a spacesuit. Whereas this is where we established the armor plating, the spiky knees, the various suit shoulders, all the good details. Okay, so here's the Samus Returns concept art. Alpha Metroids, Gamma, regular Metroid. Here's the Omega. The Metroids apparently aren't important enough. Show up here. Proteus, Ridley, or not. Oh, here's the Zeta Metroids. Yeah, you'll note the very xenomorph-like elongated head. I'm actually really surprised that detail wasn't present in the original design. Here's the blob throwers. You'll note they do not appear to be throwing any blobs. This is those weird nest things that spray the purple poison on us that we would have to run and like jump in the water to dissipate. Glow flies. Gosh darn bats. We didn't see most of these guys in the second half of the game, but these are Halzins. Got Samus with the babby. Got Hornode, an infected version. Okay, here's the fusion suit from Metroid Fusion. Look at the shoulders. She just got such powerful pauldrons. Dock power suit, various suit. Concept art of the melee counter. Lightning armor. More melee counter. Spider ball animation when it's trying to go up the slick walls. Not 100% sure what most of this is, but the lower right appears to be a prototype for the speed booster that wasn't included. Real cool effects with the beam burst. Interior of the ship. Traded egg. Those doors that the Metroids would go through. Gunship. Weird mouths that house the Aeon powers. Aeon tank. Metroid Queen. You'll note she has like a freaking tentacle tooth thing in her mouth. It's gross. Teleport station. Surface Vessel 388. And some fossil critters. Like at the very beginning, I think of Area 8, like we run over some bones briefly, but otherwise I don't know if we see these in game at any point. Then we've just got sound test. Alright, and yeah, I don't really have any way of showing off the other endings, but there's basically a set for every difficulty. I think Fusion has its own. Yeah, you've got the usual completed in X time. You got a specific ending if you can manage to do it in under 4 hours and with 100%. I'd have to double check. I don't think this one has a low percent ending. Yeah, otherwise you've got different art for each of the 3 difficulties. Alright, so that's Samus Returns, and with that we have finally completed all of the 2D Metroid games. At least all the ones that are currently out. I hope everybody please join me tomorrow for the release of Metroid Dread. I don't know about you guys, but I am really freaking excited. So yeah, hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for putting up with me as I played through all of these games. Hopefully this has been educational, and if I have, like, if I've made you love this series even a fraction as much as I do, it has been completely worth it. Anyway, everybody, please have a good night, and I will see you next mission.